Minecraft has dominated the survival sandbox block building genre to the point where any game that looks even slightly similar, it gets compared to Minecraft. One of those games is Hytale. Now, Hytale on the surface looks and feels like Minecraft, and the internet would be calling it Minecraft 2 basically from the start. But I would disagree. At first glance, yeah, it does look a lot like Minecraft, and Hytale does share a lot of inspiration from Minecraft, and there's no denying that. The graphic style, the moment-to-moment gameplay even, can be compared to Minecraft. That said, the structure of Hytale's mechanics and systems is where it differentiates itself from Minecraft. Hytale is not an unofficial sequel to Minecraft, but its own game entirely. Now, before we get more into detail with Hytale and why it's not Minecraft 2, it's just more than that, I would like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I upload these essay-style videos on Fridays, so let me know what you think about in the comments, and if you agree with me or not, I'd love to hear your opinion, or what type of topics you would like to hear about in future videos, let me know. So Hytale on the surface does in fact look like a Minecraft clone, especially if you are just looking at the videos of trailers or gameplay videos. The blocks, the mobs, and even basic character designs at the surface level look very Minecraft-like. When you start a game, you get put in a world with no story, no objective, and you just kind of have to figure out what to do, and you're just left on your own devices, much like Minecraft. But before we even start talking about gameplay of any kind, for me, the reason I thought it was going to be a Minecraft 2 when I first saw it was that the developers, Hypixel Studios, are literally known for their Minecraft server, Hypixel multiplayer server, which for its entire lifespan was the biggest multiplayer Minecraft server ever. While recently it is not number one, it's still one of the biggest servers. And knowing them, I would have assumed that they would be imitating Minecraft at least a little bit. And I was pretty much right that they are imitating it, but on a surface level only. Because Hytale is inspired by Minecraft, not a copy of Minecraft. Now, when you first load up your first world in Hytale, it does have that feeling of, oh, this is just like Minecraft. And honestly, I felt vindicated when I first played it because those words, just like Minecraft, were repeated in my mind over and over and over again when I was playing the game. You have a main hand and an offhand, just like Minecraft. Your inventory looks like Minecraft. Your hotbar looks like Minecraft. Even the items like pickaxe and axe feel like Minecraft. My first impression when I played this game was Hypixel Studio just copied Minecraft and really did nothing else. Now that is just my first impression when I first played the game within the first 10 minutes because once again, it felt on surface level. But when I started playing more, the game started showing its own unique concepts or its own unique takes on things. So when I got to the point where I started playing and started paying more attention to the mechanics from the very beginning, and I started to notice the differences between Minecraft and Hytale. For instance, you don't just go and punch a tree in the start of Hytale like you do in Minecraft. Well, you could, but it would take a long time and isn't actually what you need to get started. What you actually need is sticks and plant fibers from the ground, as well as pebbles from stone blocks, but they're on top of the stone blocks, to make your first pickaxe and axe from what I mentioned earlier. Your character itself has a lot more abilities than Minecraft. You don't need a crafting table to make tools because tools themselves are locked behind upgrades. Instead, you just open your inventory and you can make a bunch of things like the pickaxe and axe I mentioned earlier. You don't need a crafting table or a crafting station to make that. In Minecraft, you have to have a crafting table to make any 3x3 item. And the whole 3x3, 2x2 stuff, that isn't really a thing. It's just amount of resources. Like other survival games, really. And speaking of, one of the other biggest differences between Minecraft and Hytale with the crafting stations, there are multiple stations, other than the fact that there is no 3x3 or 2x2 grid that you're using, it's just the number of items, is that the amount of stations that you're actually using. Not only are they different than just the standard crafting one, they all have a very specific purpose. The regular crafting station is just your typical crafting thingy-majiggy. It makes basic tools, weapons, and storage, and more importantly, it makes more stations. For instance, you can make a farming station, weapon station, armor station, chef station, and even a decorative block station. And each of these stations have a level that is attached to it, and this level of station determines what items can be crafted while you're using it. But you can see what options are available later, even if you can't craft them right now. For example, with the weapon station, even if you can only craft a crude sword or a copper sword, you can still see the iron sword. And the crafting ingredients required for the iron sword once you upgrade the station to level 2 or to whatever level you need for what you're looking for. All these changes in total are just one example of what makes Hytale so different and unique compared to Minecraft. The mechanics of Hytale are much more tiered and structured, like a tier 1 all the way up to tier 4, and maybe even more. I don't honestly know how far the tiers go. But in Minecraft, you have the crafting table and some other systems that don't really affect the main crafting table. It is mostly just making things faster, like a blast furnace, compared to a regular furnace. And you never truly need that blast furnace, you just need a crafting table. One of the most important mechanics of Minecraft is the crafting, which sounds like a silly thing to say, of course, because it's in the name Minecraft. But the mechanic was never really expanded upon like how it is in Hytale with the different types of crafting. Because in Hytale, you need stations other than the regular crafting one, and you need to upgrade the regular ones. One of the most interesting parts of the upgrading system is that it's not like an EXP system where you're just like shoving EXP points into the table. You actually need to get items and gather items from the world to upgrade the stations. So it encourages you to go out and explore and find these items, making cooler and better things. The crafting system encourages you to go out and explore places that you haven't went to, which causes you to encounter hostile mobs you may or may not have fought before, or have to fight them to get that loot, because you need to go out and explore. You can't just stay close to your base and just not go out and explore. Because in Minecraft, really, most of the exploring is because you can, or because you want to, not because the game is enticing you to. Now, you can argue that needing to go to the nether for the blaze powder and blazes to get to kill the ender dragon and all that stuff, you can argue that the game wants you to explore, but the game never tells you that you can do that. That's just something you need to know before you play the game. But in Hytale, in the UI, it is telling you, oh, you need these items to upgrade these stations, find them. And that's kind of what I did. I decided, like, oh, I need to go find these items. So you have to go find these items. And in going to find those items brings up another reason why Hytale is different, and that is the combat. The combat between Hytale and Minecraft is very different. Minecraft has a combat system technically, but it's mostly just left click the mouse button and wait and then click again. There is a rhythm to it, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure the Minecraft PvP crowd will argue that it's a lot more in depth, but that's what most players are. It's click, wait, click. In Hytale, there's combos for weapons, one-handed or two-handed weapons, variants within those categories like daggers, swords, battle axes, and some others. Hytale has a universal blocking system with weapons and an armor system that gives more than just damage reduction. For example, the copper armor grants additional max HP. Abilities like this and abilities that I haven't even gone to yet because, well, honestly, I haven't seen them. I don't know what it is out there comparatively to the other things. And I think that's where Hytale starts to break the Minecraft 2 barrier, because through its sheer amount of changes, the combat system bringing the survival sandbox block building game genre, it is more of an action RPG than whatever Minecraft's combat system would be called. And in truth, even though Hytale is a survival sandbox game, it is an action survival sandbox game, because Minecraft has action, don't get me wrong, but the combat system in Hytale has so much more potential for more action moments. And the enemies you're fighting are also just more in depth as well. They have different abilities. They didn't have different classes within this thing. You have to target certain enemies because there's ranged and melee variants of them. And it feels like there are also tiers of enemies. In Minecraft, there's basically mob and boss. But in Hytale, it feels like there's like the station system and feeling of the systems themselves. There's a tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and however high it goes for that mob variance as well. And even within those mob variances, I've only started playing the game in its very early stages, and I've still fought those types of different variants of enemies. In regular Minecraft, you are fighting zombies, skeletons, and creepers during the daytime. In Hytale, I fought 3 different skeletons, 2 different types of goblins, 2 different types of golems, and in the nighttime, it's just the same enemies. In Minecraft, with the exception of the spider, because the spiders are friendly during the daytime most of the time. In Hytale, like, I'm too scared of the nighttime because there's some weird things happening at nighttime for the nighttime mobs, and it disappeared really fast because I am a coward. And I went to sleep. I was like, what the heck? Okay, I'm going to sleep. Goodbye. Now, when I was talking about priority targets, and sometimes there are going for the ranged ones and ignoring the melee ones, or vice versa, depending on how big of a threat there is. That does exist in Minecraft, like the dungeons in Minecraft or like the woodland mansions, but it feels a lot more refined in Hytale because the rewards you find in these dungeons and structures that you can find in Hytale comparatively can have those crafting station upgrade items in them. And this makes you want to go further and look into it more to upgrade all these things. And whether it be your tools, your stations, your weapons, your armor, it just wants you to go and find these locations and or just run around and try to figure out where these items spawn. And going with the whole fact that I feel like this game, Hytale, is much more of an action RPG concept more than a survival game. The healing in Hytale is very different comparatively to Minecraft, because in Minecraft you have the hunger bar, and when you need to regain health, you eat food to regain your hunger bar, and when it's full, you slowly regen health. Now, there are different types of food, which have varying amounts of how long it fills your hunger bar and how long you stay full. In Hytale, food just gives you back health, and you don't have a hunger bar. Kind of like the classic food system from the Minecraft Alpha and the pre-adventure update Minecraft stuff that happened before they introduced the hunger bar system. Hytale's food, like basically everything in Hytale, has different tiers of food, which just gives health back when you eat it, but like the fancier foods give back a regenerative passive for a duration, and those durations themselves have levels. And so while not as different as the combat system, it still adds all together for a very different system and different feel. And like I said before, Hytale is a lot more akin to a action RPG rather than a survival game. And this is not even me bringing up the fact that there is a full magic system in the game, but I personally haven't hit it yet, so I don't know what it really does, but I have found in the loot tables and in the structures mana potions, but I just don't know what they do because I haven't found the magic system yet, because I haven't gone to the point where I'm upgrading stuff like that. And when you're looking at the future of Hytale, it is differentiating itself even more so from Minecraft with the roadmap that we know from the dev team. Wanting a full story based adventure with quests, NPCs that you can talk to, and eventual end goals, which is personally what I'm most excited about, because even though I enjoy the survival sandbox style game that both Minecraft and Hytale are the base of, having a single player story to push you along and to give you more reasons to do things is going to be even more fascinating, I feel like. Even if it isn't as grandiose, or if it's just quests to do for NPCs, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because the base game for Hytale is already really fun and I'm really enjoying it. So adding more stuff to make it more interesting is exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm excited to get to play these new updates as they come out because I think Hytale is already not Minecraft 2, and it's looking to create an even more unique image of itself with these content updates and its future development in the early access process. And I'm eagerly waiting, honestly, for whatever they decide to do. And even during this video, there's been like one or two updates during Hytale making some of this information probably not as current as I was hoping because the game is in early access and it updates very frequently. During the writing of this script and recording of this video, they made dinosaurs, and unfortunately, I didn't see any dinosaurs, which is unfortunate. But it's just one of those things where it's in development and they're developing fast and they don't have super evil head ups, higher ups constantly time the stuff microtransactions in it, and it's becoming more and more of its own game. And if you would still compare it to Minecraft, I still think it's not a bad way to compare the games. But I would also say that vanilla Minecraft is not what you need to compare it to. I feel like it feels a lot closer to like a modded Minecraft. And when it comes to other games, it's also similar to like a Terraria or an action RPG game with survival, sandblocks, block building mechanics. But even with me saying that it's, you can compare it to these games, I still feel like it has its own fresh, unique take on things and creating its own experience that people will be starting in the future. People are saying this game is like Hytale instead of this game is like Minecraft, or this game is like Terraria, or this game is like insert whatever game you want to put in there. They're creating their own base so that people will start comparing their game to Hytale instead of other people comparing Hytale to other games. But I mean, gamers are just going to do that all the time, so I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying that I think the label that Hytale has been given from a lot of players of it being Minecraft 2 is unjustified because it's not Minecraft 2. It is its own unique experience. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Don't forget to hit the bell icon as well to get all the notifications. Let me know what you guys think about Hytale in the comments down below. If you've played the game, I'd love to hear it. And if you haven't played the game, I'd also love to hear about it because I think that is a good section of the community that is waiting to play the game, but they're just watching stuff or listening to stuff. And I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about it as well. If you'd like to support me directly, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/thetechnojelly. Get a join of all of these nice people in the credits, as well as join a once-a-month live stream where you can vote to what we do and we can hang out. We've been playing a lot of RimWorld recently in those live streams. If you would like to support me even more directly and have a product in your hands, I have an affiliate code link with poggers.shop. You can get 10% off using code TechnoJelly in their store. They do energy drink mixes as well as hydration and sleep aid mixes. Once again, TechnoJelly at checkout for 10% off. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you all for watching. And click or tap my face to see another video essay style video. And I'll see you in another one. Goodbye, everyone.